Hey y'all, it's Rachel on socials, Rachel Ray, aka Nurse Ray, and I'm back with another video. So I felt like in order for me to say that I'm qualified to give you nursing advice or nursing wisdom, I should at least share my nursing journey with you all to show myself, valid and qualified. So my nursing journey started off way back in 2009. I became an LPN first. My program was only 1 year, and I decided that I was going to change my life in a matter of 1 year. I was actually working as a manager at Arby's at the time, and I would go to school 4 days a week. My program required Monday through Thursday, so I would go to class Monday through Thursday from 8 in the morning. And if it was clinicals, you had to be there at 6 until 3 p.m. I would get off, go home, shower, change, and go to work. And I would close as a shift manager at Arby's from 4 to midnight every night, full time. So I did that for a full year. And the program started in January and I graduated in December. I feel weird telling this story without also including that while in nursing school, I lost my mother. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I did not expect that to happen, but moving right along. Anyways, I made it and I graduated in December 2009. Okay, brief intermission. My apologies, y'all. I wasn't ready for that moment. But actually, we're just going to move right along and maybe I'll share that story with you guys in another video. So that was in 2009. I graduated December 2009. Yay. And after that, I got my first job working at a clinic. It was a OBGYN clinic, and I hadn't even taken my boards yet, but I got my first job there. I lasted, a few weeks, and one day I was like, hey, I'm from a very small town, guys. I was in the small town, why am I still here? I don't have a reason to be. Called my friend. She lived in Tallahassee. Hey girl, can I come up there and live with you for a little while, get on my feet? She was like, I've been begging you to, come on. So I signed up to take my boards, packed my car, and took off to Tallahassee. And I never looked back. Now keep in mind, I come from a small town. So anyways, I got to Tallahassee and started working at Arby's for 1 week while I waited on my results to come back to let me know if I passed my exam. And turns out I passed, yay. I applied to several hospitals. I applied to basically anywhere. And turns out I ended up getting my first job at a nursing home. Back then, seems like they weren't really hiring nurse or LPNs in hospitals at the time. So my start, like I said, was at a nursing home, and that was okay with me. I was just excited to be a nurse. Honey, let me tell you something. I was proud until I got to this city. And then I realized, oh girl, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. And everybody was coming up to me saying, oh, when are you getting your RN? Are you getting your RN? And I'm just like, hey, I didn't even think about an RN. I was just excited to be an LPN at this time. Keep in mind, I come from a small town where I think I knew one person who was a registered nurse, just one. Other than that, I met nurses in the hospitals, and stuff, and got information about the LPN program, and that's how I got started. But anyways, I'm blabbing, so let's move right along again. While I was at work, I started taking prerequisites at the community college. So I had already my schooling journey started at 18, y'all, but that's a whole nother video as well. So anyways, I had a few prerequisites already. So I traveled on to the community college and continued to do more prereqs at the time. I felt like, hey, slowly but surely, something is better than nothing. So I enrolled at the community college, and once I completed all of my prerequisites, I was inducted into Honor Society. I was on 8 honor roll, and I was ecstatic. They offered a bridge program, And when I say bridge program, that means from LPN to RN. And so because you were already a licensed practical nurse with your prereqs completed, it eliminated approximately 1 year of schooling for you because you already had the fundamentals of nursing. Expected to, and you had to have worked a minimum of time, which I had already been working for 6 years. So anyways, flunked. I got into Tallahassee Community College, and they did a pre-HESI exam. When I took that HESI exam, I could not pass it, and it was the bridge HESI exam. After that, they marked you off for a lot of stuff in like what they call simulation labs, which is like practice labs. And anyways, I messed up with allergies 3 times in there, and basically they kicked me out. I didn't even survive for 1 full semester, and I went home. I cried. I thought that was the end of my nursing career. My husband was like, let me tell you something, you can cry today, but tomorrow you'll get back on your feet. And that's exactly what I did. So went back to working, found out about another school. Child, I ain't never want to go to this school. It was called ITT. And some of y'all might know the school ITT. Everybody I knew was going there, but it was kind of like an alternative school. It wasn't a state college or university, which is something that I always wanted to attend. But because I had FOMO and everybody was graduating around me, I went ahead against my own good mind and applied to get into this school. I got in. And I completed 1 quarter. I passed. And then I started the 2nd quarter. Meanwhile, while I was in the 2nd quarter, the school shut down. All over America, the school shut down. But I will say I was grateful for that program because it was in that program that I learned how to think like a nurse, like an RN, to take my HESI exams. I learned how to test while I was in that program. That only lasted 2 quarters. So anyways, that was that nursing journey. Next step. See, that's why you never quit. You never give up because you don't know the road that's ahead. And that's why I'm sharing my journey with you so you know not to quit. Because people sitting outside probably look at my life and think, oh, I was an excellent student and I made it all the way. I always was a good student. I had good grades. I was in honor society, for goodness sake. And I thought I was all that, really, and went in there and flunked them people program. So I'm here to encourage you that even if you fail, you don't give up. So anyways, ITT closed down. I started looking for schools to attend, and I got a call from one of my classmates who told me about another college that was in Georgia. To make a long story short, I registered at Southern Regional Technical College, and that was in Thomasville, Georgia, which is like a 45-minute, hour drive from Tallahassee. I crossed the Mason-Dixon to get there. So anyways, I called that school. They had 1 seat open, and the program started like soon. The deadline was like that Thursday, and I called on a Monday, and I asked the lady, ma'am, do you think it's any way possible that I would be able to get you all the things that are required for me to make it into this program by Thursday? And she's like, I think you can do it. And they had 1 seat left to take the HESI. So thankfully, favor was on my side. That seat was for me. I took that test. I blew it out of the water. I excelled in my HESI exams. And the rest is history. So I did get accepted into the program. I started my RN program there. And this, again, is a bridge program from LPN to RN. So now this program would also only be 1 year. It would be Mondays and Tuesdays all day long. And then as the program progresses, you would have to come like another day or two to get all of your preceptorships and clinicals done. However, it would be, for the majority of the program, just 2 days a week. Again, because I was already an LPN, thankfully. So I did eventually complete this program. And even when I started this program, the first HESI that I took in the program, I bombed it. I was so scared to take the test. I was operating in fear. And all I could think about is how I failed my other tests. And I was crying, child crying, before I even took the test, okay? So naturally, I went in with the mindset to fail, and what do you think I did? Failed. I needed to get an 850, and I got like, 847 or something. So I went home. Honey, I got in them scriptures. My sister sent me some scriptures. I stayed in my house for a full 24 hours doing nothing but studying, and praying. I went to go take my test because they have a makeup test. So I did it. I don't know. It might have been 48 hours later. I don't know. All I know is I showed up ready for the test. I walked in confident. I prayed with the whole class. I said, we coming in here, we're going to pass this test. We finna blow it out of the water. And I did just that. I think my test, I don't know, I got like, 10 something on the test. And from that day forward, I never bombed another HESI exam. I had to get in the mindset of thinking like a nurse and also studying to show myself approved, and then walking in confidence and speaking life over my situation. Just walking, keeping in mind that your tongue has the power of life and death in it. So if you speak life over a situation, it'll bring life. If you speak death and damnation, that's what it's going to bring. It's self-fulfilling prophecy. So you have to speak life over your situations, and of course, study to show yourself approved, and then God's going to do the rest. So anyways, I made it through RN school. That program started in January. It ended in December, graduated December 14th. Mind you, I completed my AA. So in that time that I was off, I did complete my associate of arts. So I got that as well. So now I was a registered nurse with an associate of science in nursing, plus an associate of art degree. I worked as a registered nurse, got me some experience, and I've been doing that ever since. That was again in 2017. 2017. I took my RN boards in February 2018, and I've been a practicing registered nurse since. I decided I wanted to move forward, advance my career, go to NP school. So I signed up for my BSN sometime in 2023, I think. As a matter of fact, I started my BSN in 2020, and then COVID came. I did one semester at UCF and quit, baby, because I thought the world was coming to an end. I did pass. I passed with a B honor roll in that program, or with that semester, and that was that. So in 2023, I went to another university, one that was more self-paced, Capella University. Did that online, 1 quarter. And then as of last year, this year, January 2025, January 31st, I finally completed it and graduated with my BSN. Immediately upon graduating, getting my BSN, my conferment date wasn't even on my transcripts, and I was applying to Valdosta State University for their nurse practitioner program. I made up my mind, I set a goal, and I was ready. And I'm so excited to say that I'm currently enrolled in the nurse practitioner program. So that is my journey. And in order to prevent you from making a lot of the mistakes that I made along the way, I would like to help you figure out what is your goal? Where would you like to see yourself? Do you want to be a registered nurse? Do you have time? Are you able to take your time and go to school and get your prerequisites done and get your degree? Would you like to go directly to a university? Would you like to do a community college? Are you paying out of pocket? All of this matters. Will you be getting a Pell Grant? Will you be getting assistance? So depending on what your goals are, I can help you figure out how to reach your personal goals and what would be a good starting point for you. Because LPN is always an option. If you have a life like me where you're already a living adult with bills to pay, you might have a family already, and you don't have time to wait 4 years, you need a life change right now, you might want to try the LPN program because it can change your life in a matter of a year. So again, that is my life story. I'm currently working as what I like to call a per diem princess. I'm in my per diem princess era. And what that means is I'm not working as a staff nurse right now. I work per diem, meaning basically like PRN if you work at a place, or if you don't comprehend what that is, you can associate it with something like being part-time. but I technically only am obligated to give the company 4 days a month. However, I am at liberty to work as many hours as I want as long as they need it. So I typically work full-time hours as a per diem nurse at one of the local facilities in Georgia. And I do my schooling. And intermittently, if there are opportunities to travel that come up, I still do that. And so, yeah, that is a summary of my nursing school journey and a quick career wrap up. But in future videos, I'll tell you all about my work experiences, the different jobs that I've had, so that you can know if it's something that you're interested in, the different specialties that I worked in. And I'm even willing to share my opinions on the schools that I've experienced and those that I've heard about that I recommend. Yeah, I ain't gatekeeping over here. So that is my story. That is my journey. I'm sorry. I feel like I've been rambling a lot, but yeah, that's me. Signing out now. This is Rachel on socials, Rachel Ray, aka Nurse Ray, and I look forward to chatting with y'all again soon.